Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you get the memo about the stripy top day? Mark and I are in totally separate areas of the house. Well, sounds very flashy. He's downstairs.
I'm in the east wing.
He's
You're in the west wing.
downstairs getting his clothes off the floor in the office.
Shut up.
And I'm upstairs getting my clothes off. Mark, you're just... What a shut
You're always wanting to make out
very
on some kind of
nice.
something. When it's always
I'm
your
not
shoes
saying
under the table.
myself, and I'm upstairs getting them off my floor.
When you're zipped
and
up
then
in an
somehow
espadrille.
we come downstairs and we've got almost identical things on. Weird, isn't it? Sorry, I'm itching my hand.
I know, I've got a really itchy finger as well, but I've
I
eaten
feel
them.
a bit low. Should we just bring it down?
The sun usually makes you quite happy. That's okay. Hi, Martina McKeown, you've done it again. A Monday morning gift to 10 new family guests. What are you like, sweetie?
Martina, this is
It's very
lovely.
sweet and kind, but
So
please don't
basically-
overstretch yourself.
Yeah, basically what Martina's done there is bought 10 different subscribers on here a month's membership to our members area.
Very sweet,
it's just
very
such
kind,
a sweet
very
thing
generous.
to do because she doesn't even know who it goes to. It's purely altruistic.
Yeah.
Very kind.
I think they go to the people who engage the most positively with the channel. I think that's how it goes.
God, how clever.
Sean Tucker, Andrea Crash. Good evening, Andrea.
So the
Yes,
algorithm
tired
can
mummy.
be used for good.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheila Evans, Joanne Littlewood, Anna Kite, Jen's Market, Faith. How are you all? Hey, good morning, guys. What sort of a weekend did you have? Lots of live action for us, wasn't there?
Yeah, we did lots of stuff with you. We did Curly Cooks. We did a live Sunday show. But also,
I built a fucking annoying table.
Mark, I actually got Mark off the computer to DIY.
Oh, that was a joy.
I said to Mark, we've been married for 20 years and we've never once had a traditional Sunday. We've still never gone to the dump.
Can I be honest?
I really want to go to the dump.
But I want to be honest about the traditional Sunday.
What?
It was purgatory. Absolutely. I hated almost every second of it, from my run to building the table
Yeah,
to
but-
then sitting there in my thoughts. What a horrendous
I made Mark
prospect that
sit in
was.
his thoughts.
Oh, it's horrendous. I posted a story which was of a devil's face, and that was my thoughts.
Hang on a minute. You posted a story about sitting in your thoughts and not being on
Check
the
it
phone.
out. Check it out. It's quite chilling.
If he does that regularly, can you please snitch on him to me? Because he's supposed to be sitting in his thoughts, not posting about it.
I was sat in my thoughts, and I just couldn't. I just had to get out of them.
Who measured beforehand said fake. Well, we've got a story on that.
But can I just say,
There's been a bit of bad measuring with the chest of drawers.
Has there? That's not. I wasn't involved. You go rogue measuring. You change sides. You go from inches to centimeters.
If you are new to our channel, you must be wondering what the hell we're talking about. Both Mark and I, fairly smart, informed people, are unable to measure. And we have had...
Speak for yourself. You totally commandeer the tape measure.
Mark, please don't pretend you're a good measurer. Please.
Oh my God, I'm going to... It's
Please.
so infuriating.
Please, Mark. Curtain rail.
Oh my God.
Who wanted to cut it in half?
Hang on, that wasn't... We didn't know that there was a... What are they called, the things that hold up they've got a funny name, the bulbous things that hold up. What are they called? Gumballs, gimbals, bumbles? What are they called, guys?
Right. Do you know, is there any way we can put the link up under here for anyone that might not have watched that video?
Just put in curtain gate.
Is that so you just got to search on this channel, Curtain Gate. Honestly, somebody sent me a clip of it the other day. I was literally crying with laughter. What fucking idiots we are.
Yeah, but it made for fun.
We cut the bloody thing.
There is a vlog coming up of us trying to construct a cupboard for one of the girls.
Oh my God, it was the worst 3 days of my life.
3?
Mark,
You can't
it
even
spanned
tell. You can't even
over
read
3
time.
days. And I don't know whether I'm allowed to say what the company is that we've bought the bloody cupboard and that table from, but I really want to out them because they're just shit.
It's not IKEA.
No, it's not IKEA.
What was I going to say?
IKEA's good.
I'm not exaggerating when I say it took me 3 hours, and as this incredibly heavy, incredibly complicated table came together, and as it was coming together, and I was going, there's virtually no surface area on it, no drawer action, and I was like, what the hell is all this weight for?
But the thing is, right, I went upstairs. He said, come up and have a look at it. I went have a look at
You
it.
didn't
As
say
I went
anything.
near it, he went, don't touch it.
No, I said, don't
Which
move
is,
it.
I have to say, worrying me a little.
No, the drawers.
I pulled the drawers. Don't pull them like that. Oh,
No,
you
hang on. You came to the drawers, you didn't pull them out, you went, you do that to this drawer, it's going to break.
Well, the fact that I can't walk
And
near
because
it
there's-
or pull the drawer
right,
out
and because-
is slightly worrying, and it makes me question your measuring
And
again.
because, hang on, there was no measuring involved.
There was glue, and
I had to use a lot
he's
of
got
glue.
the worst electric
Oh my
drill.
God.
When he got it out of the box,
Do you
I
know
thought it was
what?
a doll's electric.
Do you know what? That screw was invaluable. The screwdriver. The electric screwdriver was invaluable.
But
And it
Mark-
was invaluable because it was small and it got
It's
into
for a
tiny
doll's house.
places.
Anyway, that was our weekend. We hope you had a better one. I was cleaning out the cupboards and I wanted to kill myself. It was so boring.
Yeah, so everything about a traditional Sunday was
Was
hideous. Hideous. I want to go out, eat great big slap-up breakfasts, get annihilated
That's a
drunk,
Sunday. We've
and
never
sit
done that
by the
either.
river. I can't get drunk. I just
Well,
want to go out,
you don't want to get
kick
enough-
back,
You-
get caned, roll about in the evening, and then fall in the river. That's
You
what I
don't
wanna
want to get blind drunk on a Sunday because then Mondays are hell.
I
Who'd want to get drunk on a Sunday? Not me. When you're 17, yeah. And when you don't get hangovers.
Andrew Crash says, "Are we playing Where's Wally?"
It's a very emotionally
jumpers.
unstable table. I love that. Who's that?
Yeah. It is Dawn
Dawn
Decker. Yeah. So there you go. Don't
Is
like.
it all right to lean on that table, seriously? Because I
It's
think we
all
might
right.
have to
It's all right
rethink
to
it.
lean on it, but because there's a carpet, if you pull it, however strong. This is the problem with the table, not me putting it together. As I said, it is the most stable you can make that thing from Wayfair. It's the strongest it can be, and personally, I think it's not strong enough. So I put in extra screws to solidify the legs.
Blimey.
I filmed it. The glue sachets with little red pipettes at the end it'd gone hard.
Well, that's because it's taken you 2 years to get it out of the box. I bought that table 2 years ago, Mark.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, that would explain it. So I had to not only cut the nib off, I had to cut them in half. And it struck me that tiny sachet of glue wasn't the difference between this table staying up or falling down.
We had some wood glue. We got that monkey glue.
Oh God!
But he was.
I used that
he was,
for my robin's beak.
He was gone forever, and then he came down.
Days.
I thought I was a bit worried. I was going to call 111 because the colour of him wasn't right. He was as grey can be, and he was totally soaked.
You've got
So,
no
it was a great
comprehension how
weekend.
complex it was. I filmed some of it.
I saw it when you got it out. I was like,
Yeah, but what about the desk?
right. So, towards the end of this live today, we're going to be talking about how sex with somebody else, not with yourself, is the best way to get a good night's sleep.
Hang on, sex with somebody else? What? Not your partner?
No, with
You know
not
the
with
way you said
yourself.
that. Sex with someone else
Well,
is
we'll
the
talk
best
about that
way
at the
to
end.
sleep.
We're going to be talking about mobile phone memories. 50 years?
50 years since the first cell phone call was made. Isn't that stunning? I find it stunning. I find it astonishing. But I thought we could maybe trot back through some of the classics, the Motorola's, the phones, the Blackberries, all that kind of stuff.
But we're just going to touch first on this ever ongoing sad story. I mean, it just when I see the headline, I'm just like, just unnerved by the whole thing always. But anyway, you fill them in about this, Mark.
Well, this is Rishi Sunak's task force to tackle child sexual abuse. In their wisdom, I mean, look, every single form, obviously, of sex abuse has to be investigated, dealt with, prosecuted, and taken extraordinarily seriously. What they've curiously done in this, and I think this is kind of strange, they've kind of almost created a league table of severity or areas of emphasis or concentration. What they've gone on, Sawalha Braverman was all over the TV yesterday. I just can't bear watching it. And Rishi Sunak, and what they're wanting to do is home in on the grooming gangs. So they seem to have prioritised grooming gangs up and above the fact that of all child sex offences that occur and are brought to court, only 11%
really shocked when
result
you
in
said that.
prosecution.
I was so shocked when you said that to me this morning.
around the same number
because I know
as
the numbers are
rape.
very low with rape, but you would think with children, we've had some terrible stories over the years on Loose Women with various people that we've had onto the show. And Maggie, do you remember the policewoman that brought all to the fore? She left her job, and she still looks after all those girls from the grooming gang story. Was it Manchester? Yeah, Manchester Police. She was from Manchester. She was Manchester.
Oh, right. The big story is Rotherham as well.
But she and she said, she was just dealing with somebody a few weeks ago. That the father had found this girl, all this stuff on this girl's phone, and the police did nothing about it. I mean, so there's so much to look at on this whole topic, isn't it? I just feel again that Rishi's throwing red meat for people.
It's totally red meat. We're clearly hurtling towards an election, so he wants us all to think, he wants his Tory grassroots to think that naughty children who do graffiti, and with all due respect, I think graffiti is one of the least
I'm not going to care. With everything we've got on it.
Graffiti, you've got to start prioritising when you live in an almost lawless city. He wants the Cotswolds chattering classes to kind of go, oh great, there's youngsters in high-vis jackets cleaning things up and picking up litter. And on this one, I've got this real feeling that what they're doing, and I wonder whether there's some kind of rationale, obviously she's the Home Secretary and all that, but I think it's quite transparent that they're appealing to Conservative voters and homing in on the British Pakistani group that were the perpetrators of grooming in Rotherham. She actually talks about it, and she specifies the fact of it being, where have I got it? She said that in towns around the country, vulnerable white girls living in troubled circumstances have been abused, drugged, raped and exploited by networks of gangs of rapists, which she claimed were overwhelmingly made up of British Pakistani males. Now, she added that cultural sensitivities, what they're trying to say is political correctness has prevented this being looked into. That's not inaccurate. I don't disagree with that. But what I find odd is that they've prioritised that type of, sexual offence or child sex abuse up and above others. For example, most child sexual abuse happens within families between people who know them, like rape does, like sexual offences do. And so I just felt the hand
and all
of
the kinds of
electioneering.
paedophile rings and all the online. It's because I think you're right, Mark. It's because this suits their votership for them to just put this right at the top.
Well,
of the
even the
list.
Labour mayor of West Yorkshire, this is interesting, called Miss Braverman's comments a dog whistle, meaning a coded message designed to appeal to a certain group.
Exactly.
The grassroots, absolutely.
Exactly.
And so, once again, and that kind of, I say clever, but it's, I hate using the word clever, sort of conflation of political correctness as well. Another knock on woke and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, but here
and then people can feel like, something's really being done, and people can get very angry about that one thing. And it's like, what are we actually dealing with this vast root problem? No, and it doesn't instill any confidence that they're actually going to do anything.
They're also making it legally, they're going to compel people to legally report abuse when they hear of it, which is clearly an important detail. So if you are made aware of abuse of any form to children, you are legally obliged to report it. They're going to sort of enshrine that in legality. So I don't know, I just find all this kind of stuff, all these things need to be tackled. No one is disagreeing, but I do find the way in which the Conservatives are prioritising certain types of behaviour above others, it's not about, it's not the right necessarily the right emphasis or concentration. As you rightly say, it's red meat thrown to Tory voters to win. And I hate to say it, I think it could well work. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so that's Rishi Sunak continuing in his sort of mission to win the election. This other story, I just wanted to quickly just touch upon this because I found the statistics on this fascinating. Obviously, we've talked about Donald Trump. Obviously, tomorrow is going to be a big day to see exactly how he's essentially not incarcerated, but how he's going to be sort of taken into the courtroom, how he's going to be charged, how many, they're talking about 30 felonies, up to 30 felonies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I missed
They're
that.
going to unseal the...
It just remind me what a felony is.
A felony is, well, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Is it not a federal crime? Is it not to do with the sort of crime? Is there not a sort of crime within the nation, and then there's a local crime? And I think a felony might be a national, because each kind of state has its own jurisdiction and has its own rule. Is that right?
So felony would mean that it's the same across the
felony
country.
is it, or is it simply a law breach rather than a sort of? Can you top
it's
it?
a
Actually, it's
breach.
going absolutely nuts.
Oh, it's a breach. It's not.
So-
He hasn't broken the law. It's
So
breached the law.
well, that is breaking the law, isn't it? Breach.
No, doesn't breach mean it's not serious breach, is it?
Yeah. God. You've probably noticed. Chi-Chi is back.
But isn't a breach not as bad as a break?
A crime in the US and many other judicial systems regarded more serious than a misdemeanor. I mean, he's also up for lots of misdemeanors too. So felony is a crime, misdemeanor is. There are then different sort of levels of crime. So for example, this is within the jurisdiction of New York, but obviously a felony is a felony is a felony. I do think there is some distinction between sort of federal versus sort of national versus federal. But anyway, look at this statistic. This is fascinating. YouGov poll have done obviously a poll on who, there's a contest for the leadership of the Republicans to run for the next presidency. Trump is the only candidate to have sort of said, I'm running, thrown his hat into the ring and all that.
Is that just because he's early?
Yeah. It's widely regarded that, I've forgotten what's his name? The guy in...
The guy that said...
the guy...
The really...
what's his name? Ron DeSantis.
Oh,
so Ron
God,
DeSantis...
he's a card, isn't he?
Ron DeSantis in Miami is, he looks like the closest contender to kind of potentially beat Trump. But hey, look at this. Trump had something like an 11% lead over Ron DeSantis, or 7% lead over Ron DeSantis. And since he's been indicted, it's jumped to 26%. It's been the greatest, most successful campaigning tool that Trump could have hoped for.
They were saying, I was listening to something the other day, and they were saying he got in on the underdog ticket the first time round, and this has been so extraordinary that he can go in again as an underdog in this way.
Well, he's now supported by 57% versus DeSantis. So that's big.
And they don't even know what it is he's done. I mean...
No, but this is my...
They're supporting him without even knowing what his crimes are, just pure blind faith.
Yeah.
Like with Boris.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, it's like I say, everything that's thrown at Trump, he turns into an advantage and he turns into a bonus. I was of the opinion that I thought that the reason they were hesitating in actually indicting him was there was a lot of chatter amongst the Democrats saying this could actually do us a disservice. This could actually, will make a martyr of him. It will... And it's not that you can't charge if a law's been broken or a felony has been committed. But I do think this, this is going to be read, and I called it, I said this is going to be read by a huge swathe of America as the Democrats feverishly trying to protect themselves, Washington. God almighty, my brain's a fizz at the moment. And so it's done the very thing that I think everyone thought it would do. It's supercharged, super pumped. It's I've got over the wall. I've got a 56% advantage on Rob DeSanctimonious. Run DeSanctimonious. And so I think this is slam dunk for Trump, if I'm honest. So depressing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I thought it was an interesting statistic. So shall we jump on to couples that sleep? Couples that have sex.
What was the other thing? The phones. Let's do the phones first.
Okay, phones. Okay, what was your first mobile phone? What was your first mobile phone? From the Matrix phone to the Snake, the Nokia ringtone to Crazy
Mine
Frog.
must have been a Nokia, I think. I think mine was a Nokia.
When I met you, I remember you having a tiny red one.
It was a Nokia.
And you had a phone.
Was it a red Nokia?
It was a red Nokia. Yeah. 50 years since the first mobile phone call.
Dina had her Nokia right up until, God, like
I think my
2
mum's
years
still
ago.
got one.
Yeah.
Pink Lady, Nokia 5710.
God, how do you guys remember these things?
'Cause these
I
are
don't
important.
remember these.
Mr. Jason 916, the Nokia or the Nokia flip top. I had one.
I see. I get tempted to go. I love that flipped. I wish
And
I
do you
could
remember
go.
it used to have a little rectangle screen so you could see what's happening, digital screen on the side.
Well, I never had one of those. We had a BlackBerry, didn't we?
I did have Blackberries, yeah, for a while because of
We both had a
Well,
BlackBerry.
because of the emails. That was it.
Yeah.
But does anyone else? Do you remember my phone when I met you was a banana phone, which expanded like that? You would pull out the bottom. Does anyone remember those? It's sort of like it was like sort of
Are you
semicircular.
being silly?
No, not at all.
Oh.
No, semicircular, and you would pull out the bottom. Siemens
I get really
says
worried
Sheila
that I can't
Roberts.
remember any of these things. Look, everybody
You're
knows.
not interested in these sorts
People
of
know
details.
the numbers. They'll go Motorola 676.
3210 says Pink Lady was the next one, which was mega popular. My flip phone was my favourite. Love a flip top. They're developing these phones that fold, don't they? But never had a BlackBerry, hated them, Ellery Jones. I loved the BlackBerry because it had that wonderful...
You found it very difficult to let go of your BlackBerry.
Oh my God, I didn't want to go because it had that, it was email heavy and I just didn't trust that the iPhone could deal with it.
So if it came out 50 years ago...
Well, no, the first phone call happened 50 years ago on a
So
cell
when
phone.
did it... I'm just trying to think, when did we
I'm
all
not gonna be able
get
to answer
them?
this. Around...
I'm trying to remember up until what point in my life did I not have to have a
Right,
phone
I remember
with me
this.
at all
When
times?
I was a video journalist, we still had pagers.
So how old were you then?
And that was in I was 22, 23. So that was 1993. And it was the Daily Mail Evening Standards news channel, and it was breaking news, and the only way you could contact people was by pager. So there were
So
no
I
phones
was nearly
there.
30 when I got a phone.
Were you? Yeah.
If you were 22,
Yeah.
you're 7 years younger.
I think I got my first phone in about it must have been about 93, 94. I didn't have a mobile phone when Izzy was a baby.
Wow.
And so if you think
God,
about
weren't
that,
we lucky to
that's
go
about
all
30
that?
years.
I mean, I think we're the luckiest because we had our lifetime
I think
without
that was the
them.
same, Jen's Market.
And then we have all the joy of them as well because, would I go back? Well, I think if we say, would we go back, we have to also say, would we have aeroplanes? Would we have cars? Would we have, because you just can't even
the genie's
think
out the
about,
bottle as well,
you
isn't it?
just can't even think about it now because the whole world is, I think we've got to stop talking to kids about what it was like before the phones as well. I really do. I think
Why?
it's so unfair because
They say it sounds fucking boring.
No, but everyone says it like this rose-tinted glasses, the halcyon days, and it's just... I just think it's unfair. I think they're in the cesspit of it. They're in the joy of it as well, but they're in the cesspit of it. And they however cool they seem with it, they are dealing with a hell of a lot. Your brain isn't ready for it.
Well, that was something else I was going to say, because obviously what comes with the whole cell phone thing, obviously back in the day when you just used it to make a phone call, I remember when texts came in, they were so rudimentary. They were like, it was like, when you used to type words upside down on a calculator. I remember them coming in and they were like that. Yeah, and I remember it would just come up one received message in real sort of
Did we
blunt...
text a lot when we first got together?
Yeah, because I sent you the first text saying, it was the text about the egg mayonnaise sandwich.
Egg and fag sandwich.
Yeah. And I put you on my phone then as Naughty Nadia because you were so freaking naughty. And you've stayed that name ever since.
But it was me that said you want an egg and fag sandwich.
Yeah, I called you Naughty Nadia in my address book. And
I've
you've
just
been
said
that.
you want an egg and fag sandwich.
Yeah.
You liked that.
Because an egg and mayonnaise sandwich is a euphemism, isn't it?
Egg and fag. Why do you keep saying mayonnaise?
Egg, mayonnaise and fag.
Well, we never said egg mayonnaise. We said egg and fag.
It was a hideous image, actually, when you woke up next to it. Not you, the fag in a
Well,
in a,
probably
in a
was
sandwich.
a hideous image. God almighty, we were drunk.
Very drunk.
But we were talking about this the other night, weren't we? We got so drunk the first night we got together and we had a full day's shoot, didn't we? With the sun and everything. The sun was out. We were on a beach.
You were a bit mucky.
I was like, we hadn't had time to,
Someone's mentioned the Motorola Razr phone. Nokia, then Motorola Razr flip phone, Alison Fisher, then a BlackBerry. I've got an old white BlackBerry on my shelf in there.
Oh, I loved it when we got the white
Do you remember
Blackberries.
the white Blackberries?
They were so cool.
They were so sort of flash, weren't they? But yeah, of course, I mean, the whole cell phone thing, I love this fact that I've tried it out before, but the amount of technology in a single iPhone is in a single
This is great
iPhone is
practice.
the same amount of technology that got the first spaceship to the moon. Think about that.
And how long did it take to get that to the moon? And then how long did it take to get to where we've got with the phones? Just wow. I mean, the human brain is just astonishing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
How far we've come. Too fast, but here we are. So we just have to make the best of it.
If we had what we have now in the mobile phone, I'd be dead now.
You would definitely have been dead. You would have been a Tinder addict. You would have been a porn addict. You would have been in a mess.
Christ. Where did that come from? My God.
Well, come on. If you'd been able to get porn like that from a child, you would be you're an addict.
Well, as a child. I was
You're
talking more as a young man.
Oh,
but
but you're an addictive personality, so
Oh my
the phone
God.
is the perfect thing for any addictive
Well, as a
personality.
teenager, well, we would have all been hijacked by what poor youngsters are being hijacked now by.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So we've
mobile
got to
phone.
finish on time today because we go.
Well, let's do this. Couples sleep better after having sex first.
No, but the thing that interests me about this is you can only have it with somebody else.
You can't do it. You can't have it with yourself. Okay. Well, let me just put some meat on the bones.
Let's
of
do
this.
a poll. Do you
What?
sleep as well after you've had sex with yourself as you do with somebody else?
Wow, that's a long question. Do you? Okay. Whilst I do that, why don't you share
It's
your
a
thoughts?
sleeping
Hang
pill.
on. So what do I say? Do you sleep as well? Do you?
Either way, they're here. They know what we're.
Do you
they
sleep?
know-
Tell me the question.
I don't know how to say it.
Neither do
In
I.
a shorter way.
Do you sleep
Sleep better.
after
Masturbation. Sex.
solo sex than sex with? Does it have to be anyone else? Because I tell you what, I'm just going to say
What do you
something.
mean? Does it have to be
Well,
anyone else?
A one-night stand, you don't sleep better. You're on.
I don't know, I've never had
You're on a
one.
constant knife edge of potential performance.
Are you?
Yeah, it's really.
In what way?
it's
Tell
really-
me. What happens?
Well, you just don't know what the appetite is. You don't know where you're going to
I
go.
never
Because of
thought
course,
about
if
that.
you're having a one-night
So,
stand,
like-
you're both of a certain proclivity to go and have lots of sex.
So what do you worry if they want it 5 times, you're going to be able to do it?
There is a bit of that, so you do tend to do a few press-ups in the night.
What
you
were
do
we
a few
watching the other
bicep
day?
curls.
We were watching Housewives of Miami, and what's the
Oh,
one's name who
what
is
a
the
load.
Kardashians? She said 22 years, 22 years, sex 5 times a day for 22 years. I didn't get a day off in 22 years.
Yeah, no, but she also said it was
5 times
5 times a day. I think
for 22 years of her marriage, she never got a day off. Do you believe her?
So, sex really didn't help her with sleep. She's doing it 5 times. Maybe it wasn't always at
But
night.
also, really, is there a man anywhere out there that can do sex 5 times a day for 22
No.
years without a day off?
I
Without a
don't-
day off.
Yeah, I don't know if we can go into the. No,
You'd be numb.
You'd not only be
Total
numb, you'd
lie.
be sore.
It's a total lie.
Yes, I can, says Alzaran. Hi, that's our friend next to the Gagosian in town.
How are you?
Bloody hell, can
nice
you?
To see. Well,
Is that why you've got a constant smile on your face?
I just don't believe it. 22 years without a day off. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about could you sometimes have sex 5 days.
Okay, well,
22
let's
years.
claw back from that
Off.
extreme. So what I was saying was, so in a one-night stand, the last thing you're kind of thinking of in a one-night stand is sleeping.
And I suppose you're trying to think about how you're going to get home. So you would be anxious.
You are sometimes thinking about how I can get out without alerting anyone. It's terrible, isn't it? God, when I think about it. Terrible. I'm not proud of it at all. Apple crumble. So, do you find having sex makes you sleep better?
Shh, I'm not answering that.
Well, you've asked the question. I think you've asked everyone
No,
else.
but we can't be anonymous on a poll.
You can't be anonymous. That's a bit weird. Clearly, I can't be anonymous. Oh, right. Okay. So we're really not going to get. I'd say absolutely yes. I'd say yes. I say yes.
It's better than a sleeping pill.
Oh, yeah.
But
what
what
if you
about
do it yourself?
yourself?
Can you?
Would you sleep as
satisfy-
well? As if you did it with somebody else.
No. Well, both allow you to sleep well, but with someone else helps you to sleep better.
It's funny, isn't it?
I'd say. Let's have a look
Why
at the
is
poll.
that?
So I can't remember the question. Do you sleep better after solo sex than sex with someone? Oh, a small majority say you sleep better after solo.
Maybe that's because some people aren't having that's what I've got to remember.
A
lot of
men
women-
release a hormone after, don't they?
But a lot of women, don't forget.
But also a lot of men don't forget. So, I mean, if you're using Viagra, I suppose you could go a week. I mean, sometimes apparently there are stories of men slamming it in the doors of fridges.
Mark, okay, stop now.
Has to
Sadie
be-
says it helps you sleep with a smile on your face. Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever done that thing where you sort of go to bed and, and then you wake up looking at someone's feet? That's curious. You're with your head down the feet end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
In
weird.
the heavy drinking days, it's like, where am I? Where am I? What
Yeah.
way
Oh,
am
there's
I?
a foot. There you go. Anyway, well, there you go. Thought we'd end
We
on
did
that.
go very Les Dawson there.
We did, didn't we?
But it's up to you to work out what we said.
So
guys,
55% of you are getting better sleep thanks to...
so listen, my lovelies, we have got to bugger off. But do subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the notification bell. Have a look around the channel. There's so much going on in this channel. If you want to join the members area, it's 50 pence a week, and you get lots of lovely extra content there as well. But there's plenty on here too.